Wow, that was cool. So check this out. This is Pastor G. I am testing some stuff out, as y'all can imagine, which I always do. I'm always testing stuff out. So hopefully this is working. I'm violating one of my main rules that I teach, and that is always turn the camera horizontally when you do your live streams. But right now, I have to go vertical because of the tool that I'm using called Restream, and I'm using my cell phone. So hopefully this is working. Me and Elijah just left church, and while we were at church, we were kind of plotting and planning and thinking about some different things. So that's Elijah right there. Say hello. Hello. So we were at church today and just talking about innovative approaches to ministry. Innovative approaches to ministry. Now, normally I do a Q&A session. Let me see. Normally I do a Q&A session, and I've got my chat on right now. So if anybody wants to send me a message or something, you can send me a message because I have the chat open. Anyway, so we're talking about innovative approaches to ministry today. Normally, I do my Q&A on Sundays around 4 or 5 o'clock, and I might still do it today, but I just couldn't get past the moment where I really was thinking very intently about how ministry needs to expand beyond the four walls of a church. And I want to say something, and I'm going to put this up because here's what happened today. As we were sitting there inside the church, what I was reminded of was the fact that some, man, well, how many was it? Like 13 years ago? Yeah. 13 years ago. 13 years ago, I was reminded of the fact that we were doing virtual ministry way back then, and there was a tagline that we used during each message. It was called TLC, the Loving Church, and we called it. The tagline was "The church has left the building." The church has left the building, and actually, that tagline came to us beyond 13 years ago. It was probably more like almost 18 years ago. And so when that came to me, and I'm just chit-chatting for those who are going to come and you're going to leave, I'm just chit-chatting. But I want to challenge us in this season because 13, 14, 15, 16 years ago, when we were talking about the church leaving the building, there wasn't a lot of people that were listening to what we were saying. But now, after the pandemic, it seems like more people have started to think, like, what do we have to do to ensure that the ministry and the message and the relevance of the gospel actually leaves the building, because buildings were closing down, right? And so it seems like obviously more relevant today to talk about this phrase, the church has left the building. It seems more relevant today than ever before. And so even though we were talking about it 13, 14, 15 years ago, now we're at a point where this idea of the church leaving the building is much more of a relevant concept now than it was then. So I guess in my mind, at least as I was talking to Elijah, we were talking about the fact that, is it a much more palatable idea that we can use technology and what is available to us, innovation, in order to spread the gospel, the good news, the word, the ministry beyond the four walls of a church? And that's a question that I'm asking, right? And so fundamentally, and I'm gonna put this up on the screen, fundamentally, what I really, let me see, is this gonna pop up? What I really want to do is to do what the screen says. What is, what? The pop-ups. Yeah, the pop-ups. Yeah, this is what Restream lets you do. What I really want to help people do is I want to help the church leave the building. I don't want to replace the building, but I am saying that ministry should not be confined by the four walls. It should not be confined by simply what you do in the building. Ministry should be a collaboration, if you will, between what you do in the building, almost like going to the gas station, getting filled up, and then doing the heavy lifting once you leave the building, right? And then also from the perspective that just on a particular, once a week, Sunday morning, what you do in the building should not just be confined to the building. Ministry that happens, the message that goes forth, the gospel that is preached, the good news that is put forth shouldn't just, let me say it again, should not just be reserved for the few people that are in the building, right? It's kind of like somebody writing a book and there's only one copy. Like, they don't get it published. They don't have it printed. They don't have it distributed. If I'm going to write a book that's going to be good news to other people, I want people to have it. I want people to see it. I want people to read it. And that's what the good news is all about. And I think this is just me talking, because I'm just talking. Somebody might watch this later on who wants to understand how I think. I really think that right now, today, and I'm going to date this recording as I say this, right now, today, we are entering into Holy Week, right? Holy Week is a week where we began to celebrate Jesus as he rides a donkey into Jerusalem. Everybody knows the story about the palms and all that, and Jesus instructing the disciples to go into the city, and they're going to find a donkey, and they're going to tell the owner of the donkey, I'm taking the donkey because Jesus had need of the donkey, blah, 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 blah. Everybody knows that story. But what people don't make the connection about is that Jesus riding into the city of Jerusalem, yes, I am hyper spiritualizing this message right now. Jesus riding a donkey into Jerusalem wasn't just about him and a donkey. It wasn't just about Jerusalem. It wasn't just about the palms. It wasn't just about that. It wasn't even just about the fact that at the beginning they celebrated him and at the end of the week they said crucify him. It wasn't just about that. It was about the fulfillment of a prophecy. It was the fulfillment of a promise out of the book of Zechariah. Y'all know, you got Google, look it up. It was a fulfillment of a prophecy. And the reason why that is so significant to the moment that we are in right now is that you and I who are watching this video, we are the descendants of people who are a fulfillment of a prophecy, the fulfillment of a promise. Many of y'all watched Judge Ketanji. This is how you pronounce it, Ketanji. I don't know. Jackson. See, he don't even know. He don't even pay attention to the current news. Oh my God. She has made history. You just
like the wicked lady about
you just made history, and my son doesn't know who that is. Oh my God!
You talking about the one that was with the court and stuff?
Yeah. She's like making history. She's like the first African American, female African American Supreme Court nominated. Who just okay, good. Oh my God! She said during her during the speech after the vote where she becomes the first African American female on the Supreme Court, she recites a poem by Maya Angelou, which said that she is the dream of our predecessors. She's the dream and the promise of slaves who came to this country in chains. They were, man, come on, think about that. She is a fulfillment of a promise to our ancestors that one day we would be able to do the kinds of things that she is doing. We are the fulfillment of a prophecy. And Jesus riding a donkey into Jerusalem, I am hyper spiritualizing this message. I get it. It's okay. Y'all will be all right. Jesus riding into Jerusalem was a fulfillment of a promise. And I'm telling y'all who are listening to me right now, we are the fulfillment of our predecessors' promise that we would do as the Bible promised. And what am I talking about? Let me see. I'm going to take this right here. Right here, John chapter 14, verse 12. The Bible talks about the fact that we have the ability, those of us who believe in the word of God, are to utilize what God has made available to us to do greater works. Not do the same works, but do greater works. And if we're going to do greater works, that requires us to do more than what we're currently doing. If we're doing today what we did 10 years ago, if we're doing today in ministry what we did 20 years ago and 30 years ago, then we're not even keeping up with the technology. We're not even come on, y'all. I'm saying that it is time for the church after the pandemic. We should have realized that it is time for us to do some things differently. Okay? And here's the big deal. Here's the big deal. The big deal is this, that God has made available to us innovative and new technologies that allow us to reach people that prior to now we were not able to reach. You hear what I'm saying? We have access to tools and innovation today that allow us to spread the gospel far and wide, much further than we could if we were just standing in one pulpit in one building on a Sunday at one address in one city. Now we can take that same message and we can spread that message beyond those four walls and beyond that one address, beyond that one pulpit, and get that message into the cracks and crevices of our world and of our nation. And I'm saying that when you have access to this technology, this innovation, these tools, that requires us not to just take that new tool and to aim it at an old technique. It is to take that new tool and to think about how can we bring a new technique to the new tool in order to do greater work within ministry. I hope y'all get what I'm saying. Because we are the promise to do greater works that the Bible talks about in John chapter 14, verse 12. We are the descendants of those who said that we are not going to be slaves forever, that we are not going to be in bondage forever, that we're not going to be subjugated forever, that we are going to do greater works. And I think that right now is a great opportunity that we have to do greater works. I'm just saying. I believe that now is the time. And so Elijah and I were sitting in church today, and man, my brain was on fire. It was on fire. I mean, the stuff that we were talking about today is taking ministry to a level, oh my God, to a level that most folk would never even dream of. I'm telling y'all, man, my brain is on fire. So I'm going to challenge some folk, man, to reach out to Pastor G, reach out to me if you want to be involved in ministry that is just like well beyond anything you could ever think, ask, or imagine. I'm telling you, the stuff that we're thinking about right now, I know that if we could combine the brains and the thought processes of people who are really committed to reaching the lost. I ain't talking about those that just walk in the doors of the church, but those who walk past the doors of the church. If you really want to reach those individuals, you really want to reach people. And I'm not saying that this is the end all to be all. I'm saying that this is one of the tools that God has made available to us in our toolbox. And we need to bring new technique to the new tools. Okay, we can't just take this highfalutin 4K cameras and aim that at what we've always been doing. We may have to modify some things. We may have to change some things, change it up so that we think about the end user. We think about the person that's watching. I don't know. I'm just telling y'all, our brains was on fire while we were in the house of worship today. And I'm telling you, I'm just looking for those people who are willing to kind of come alongside the work that we're about to do, the things that we are about to launch, the stuff. I'm telling you, the innovative and creative things that we're thinking right now, utilizing this technology for the ministry, for the gospel, and taking that out and getting that out to people who otherwise would not have access to it. My mind, my brain is on fire. So I want to help the church leave the building. I didn't say replace the building. See, y'all got me twisted. I want to help the church leave the building. So when you leave, we still got work to do. The Bible says, go ye therefore. Go, go, go. And I want to help churches all over this country, if not all over the world, utilize this technology in order to do greater works. Greater works, greater works. Greater works shall ye do. Yeah, greater works. If you believe in the word of God and what the word of God says, and that means that there should be greater works, not the same works, but greater works shall you do. So, and I just believe that we can do it, but it's going to require many of us to step up and to let go of old technology. Stop trying to play them 45s in your CD player, right? Many cars don't even come with CD players no more. You got to hook up Bluetooth and go to your Apple Music now. Things have changed, y'all. Stuff has changed. Your waistline has changed. Your hairline has changed. Your underwear has changed. You done changed. Stuff has changed. And the way we do ministry has to adapt. It has to change. It has to morph. It has to understand that there's a different set of people that we're ministering to today. They come from different contexts. They have different mindsets, right? And that means we have to reach them in a different kind of way, right? New tools, new technique. That's all I'm saying. I may come on at 4 or 5 o'clock today to answer some questions. So let me see. Let me see here. I may come on at 4 or 5 o'clock later on today if anybody has some questions about this technology, this new technology thing that we're talking about. Hey, Evelyn, how you doing? What's going on? Angel Smith, God bless you. Good seeing you. Yeah, so I may come on later on tonight to answer some questions. So if you have any questions about not only ministry, but also how we innovate in order to take ministry to the next level. And if y'all want to take a sneak peek into my mind and understand what I'm thinking and what we're kind of resting over, Elijah and I talking about getting on Twitch. I don't have a Twitch account, do I? I might have a Twitch account knowing him. Yeah, but we're talking about doing just some off the chain, just over the top kind of stuff to get the word out, get the ministry out. I'm telling y'all, we about to do some stuff, and I want to know who's gonna be with us. God bless y'all. I'm gone. I'm just sitting up here eating donuts with Elijah, trying to put a dent in the universe. Bless y'all. I'll chat with y'all later. Peace.